All right, Ken. Merger talks between the Big 12 and the ACC. Look, I get there is nothing substantial to prove. There are actual talks going on with Brett Yormark and Jim Phillips, but the idea itself has sprung up a whole lot of controversy. When you hear Big 12, ACC merger, before we even dive in, what comes to mind to you?
It's a neutral business. I mean, it's
don't get too excited. Don't get too excited.
And you know me, Drake. I'm a very excitable guy. I can get fired up if somebody tells me they don't like Arizona tea. I'm excited now. What do you mean? Those people have kept their tea $1 for 28 years. You understand?
The Costco of teas. The Costco of teas.
Hello? And you're not going to tell me you don't like them. But this deal doesn't elicit that. The thought of a merger doesn't elicit anything out of me because it's just like, what really changes? What really is substantially different because of this merger per se? Like that doesn't change the landscape or outlook of college football in a meaningful way to me, the same way that, let's say, the dissolution of the Pac-12 did. The dissolution of the Pac-12 drastically changed everything. It drastically changes West Coast recruiting forever because let's just be honest. If you're a kid that's from the Pacific Northwest and you're saying, oh, yeah, I want to play at Oregon or Washington because I want mom and grandma and granddad and uncles and aunties and whatnot to see me play. Well, congratulations, buddy. At least 6 games out the year, they're going to be going to the other side of the country more likely than not. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality, or not 6, but, even if you end up getting all of the West Coast teams in 1 year, at least 3 times a year, they're going to have to go out to Rutgers, out to Michigan, out to Iowa, whatever the case may be. So, this doesn't elicit a strong emotion on me because I don't think that anything very severely changes. I think that this is just kind of it feels like it's kind of bound to happen, but it doesn't feel very impactful in a way.
So when you say bound to happen, this is what makes me think of. With the strength of the Big Ten, the strength of the SEC, those are the 2 power leagues, right? We can't argue. They both have $50 million plus a year for their member schools. The ACC and the Big 12 cannot contend with that. So if what we believe, like Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, is saying, I want to consolidate college football to where it's just the power programs at one day who make their own rules. If that day is coming, the ACC and the Big 12 likely get left behind as they are. Is there, in your mind, a strength in numbers with these 2 teams and a possible merger to be a power 3 together?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There is a strength in power.
Does that get you excited, Kenton? Does that get you excited?
So here's what will get me excited. Here's the thing that will get me excited about that idea potentially. And we see that the doggo got excited and the doggo needed to leave the room.
Fired up.
He said the big dog's finna eat. But that's exactly what the feeling is here. You want to be at that big dog table. The only way to get at that big dog table is to kind of redesign this thing and flip this thing a little bit from where it is. Because a lot of Big 12 fans got mad at me when I said this, but I meant it. Who is your heavy hitter? And if Florida State leaves the ACC, guess what the question is going to be for the ACC as well? Yep. Who is your heavy hitter? So if you cannot match them in that way, then you can match through another way. And that's by the sheer fact that Americans love football wherever it's on that. And you give a sheer volume that includes the Big 12 and the ACC. So now you've got virtually everything from the Eastern Seaboard all the way out to middle of America fully down packed and covered. I mean, who knows? And then even with that, you talk about the island of misfit toys universities with Oregon State and Washington State saying, hey, we don't want to be out there in the Mountain West or whatever the case may be. We want to come on back to the big boys table. Now, even if we got to take some scraps to get there, we'll mess around and do it. So I do think that that's a little bit more exciting of a proposition in terms of like the possibilities of the merger. But again, the realities of the merger are probably not as sensational as I'm making it out to be. And it's a reality that these 2 conferences could consolidate and end up where they still have a seat at the table, which is like, hey, great for you. More power to you.
Well, I think about this. Clemson. 10 years ago, Clemson was not considered a power brand in college football. You are, and this sounds so shallow, and it could be, you can poke the argument, but you are consistent winning away from being a power program in college football, no matter who you are. You are consistent winning away. It's what Clemson did. Nobody saw them as an athletic juggernaut, especially from an endowment standpoint. Now they're top 20 in the country because they won. Your university, Texas Tech, your university, Miami, your university, UNC, is winning away from being respected in college football. With that, Ken, that word respect, when you think of the Big 12, do you respect the league, the brands, the Colorados now, the Utahs, the Texas Tech? Do you respect this league enough to want to be considered under that umbrella?
So I would say yes, but I would also say if I'm the ACC, I don't completely give up who I am. You know what I mean? Like I would say we need to come together and find a new identity as opposed to being fully named the ACC or the Big 12. I think that there has to be a kind of a different thing there because, you know, with all due respect, for lack of a better word, you don't want anybody, quote unquote, dropping their nuts and saying, hey, you're in my territory, buddy. This is not, you know, you want to
cojones, as we call them on Locked On Big 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dropping your cojones. I don't want to get that call from David Locke. Hey, shut it down. Both of you, shut it down now. But very seriously, that's the reality in terms of I do respect the Big 12 as a conference and all that good stuff. And I've said this before. The question of who's your heavy hitter is not meant to denigrate anybody and say, ha, you guys are jokes. It's meant to say there is a reality in terms of when you look at the numbers, women lie, men lie, numbers never lie. That's the honest to God truth of the matter. Who are the folks that bring the numbers that can argue for that 50 million? Yep. Who are the folks who bring those types of numbers? And you can argue with some of our bad TV deals, especially for the ACC. Some of our bad TV deals is what kept us from bringing in those numbers. But the reality is you're not bridging a 4 or 5 million viewer per year gap just by a bad TV deal. Come on. Yep. Come on. You're looking at teams. Who's Alabama's professional team? Who's South Carolina's professional team?
I can't answer that.
Mississippi, anyone? What professional teams they got there?
Can't answer that.
Exactly. Their professional teams are Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Their professional teams are Clemson and South Carolina. Their professional teams are Alabama and Auburn. That's just the reality. So you're looking at a situation where you are going up against brands that are everything to where they are when you are a thing to where you are. And it's like, hey, like you said, you've got to come up with the consistent winning. You've got to continually put on a good and entertaining product. But more than anything else, if we can be anything in life, the first thing that we should be is for real. That's the very first. And certain people, like I talked about in the beginning, is they're not being for real with themselves and saying, well, if this conference dissolves tomorrow, we'll be just fine. Why do you think it hasn't already, Buttercup? Why do you think? Because your AD isn't stupid. You are whatever you do in life, and everybody has a role to play in life, right? Me and you are media guys. We're talking heads. Some people are accountants. Some people are teachers. Some people are doctors, lawyers, whatever, garbage men, whatever your job is. You don't know more about your university's finances than the actual finance people and bean counters up there. Yeah. And the actual bean counters up there know that it's in their best interest to stay in these conferences as they are by and large, because again, there's not a place for everybody.
Wow. That felt, amen. I'm ready to shout and holler or whatever I need to do. I clip it. That was good. We can just end the show there.
Let me drop my cash app and I'll take up an offer. You know, it'll go. There ain't no building fund. This fund is building my pockets. Okay.
You see this new YouTube thing? They can super chat now. Have you seen this? Yeah, fans can like cash app you through you. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know it was a thing. A lot of these streamers,
what did Kim Possible say? Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Okay, get on that super chat, baby. I'll super chat it up. I'll super chat that thing up.
We need to start doing TikTok lives. Those people make millions for TikTok lives.
I'll do a little hip shaking. I'll do a little bit, the little dances and whatnot. Come on now, we go.
David Locke,
boom, cat. Come on.
Kenton, Florida State. They want to leave the ACC, or do they? Because this could be. I don't think it is a bluff, but it could be a great way to rework a grant of rights. It's not good. Where does Florida State and the league go from here? Let's go there next here on Locked On Big 12 and Locked On ACC, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Today's show is brought to you by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is crazy good. I've wrecked my car probably 6 times in the last 5 years. Never totaled, always fender bender-ish stuff. Always little things. It's the little stuff. You know, pole there, I'll hit it. High-speed crash, no. Sign there, I'll hit it. High-speed, life threat, no. So what do I do to fix that? eBay Motors. I don't have to become a better driver. I just get eBay Motors. Passion, drive, patience. That's what brings home the winning trophy. Right now, you can get roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, style, eBay Motors has got you covered. 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You'll find exactly what you're looking for. eBay Guaranteed Fit, that it's guaranteed to fit or your money back. With the eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. The prices you want, easy to turn your car into the MVP to bring home the win. Keep your ride or die alive, ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. That is eBay Motors.